got to bring it up.
He played A3 again.
A3 again, classic. I got to bring up and just show the finish there.
And Wesley just laughs. He's having a good time.
Wow, that was awesome. So for those of you following the analysis board here, we were looking at all kinds of ways to finish off this attack, and there were several. Bishop C2 is strong. But recognizing this is why you do your puzzle rush. If the knight comes to A2, it's checkmate because the bishop holds these squares. So queen C6, just brilliant, right? If bishop B5, you could sack the queen, and again, the queen is imprisoned to the A2 pawn. Because of that, after e takes F7, Wesley made one last attempt, B3, but he doesn't even want to trade and win pawns. Queen E4, and there's no way to deal with mate.
Yeah, and the bishop on E2 is hanging. Everything is falling.
Back to the live game. That was what the people pay for here, and also A3 obviously to see the trolling continue. But wow,
while we're watching this game and Peter's in the chat, I'm curious who Peter Svidler would like to play in if he was in an SEC match. Like, what opponent would he like to play?
We've invited Peter for the last few years. Contractually, I think he does a lot of stuff for another chess site and does a fantastic job, as we know.
Yeah, we love Peter.
No, we love Peter. And he's a great commentator for Chess24 and obviously a super grandmaster to go with it. He'll be playing in the Fisher Random quarterfinals coming up this weekend. So, but Peter hasn't played in his Peach Chess Championship. I know he wants to because he's told me so.
I just want to know who his. Okay, a lot of people say Magnus. They want to play the best player.
Yeah.
But I want to know who Svidler would really look forward to play. So,
like stylistically.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. Maybe we'll make a little side match. So, all right. Well, amazing game there. By the way, hype aside of the fact that that was a sweet and sexy win by Mamedyarov, it also was huge. It brings the match within 2 games. He's got to stay within striking distance as they head into bullet. So Shakhriyar Mamedyarov is keeping this thing close.
Yep. And right now he started with A3, but we have a position where no pieces have been traded. And White is saying, look at my bishop on A2. It's clogged because the F7, E6 pawn structure is making sure it's not doing anything. But if eventually I can play F4, F5 as an example, can break things open. And right now, if Black plays E5, you already see that the bishop on A2 looks better, which is why he chose to retreat with his knight first.
Right. Doing something like this ends up being long-term disadvantages. Go with it. So knight E8 instead, you're trying to maintain the tension in the structure, keep that bishop out of spying. F7. Yeah, but here we go. Here comes Robert's F4, F5 idea. Bishop G3.
Seems reasonable, right? Just pushing that pawn directly forward. And, okay, knight C3 played. Now that you played A7 to A6, the B6 square, if you didn't play B5, was going to be more vulnerable, which is why he pushed that pawn forward some more.
Yeah, B5. Maybe he wants... Okay, there's all kinds of things here, right? You can look to take and try to get a long-distance relationship on C3 between the rook and bishop. But you can also look for C4 at some point if you're trying to block the bishop over here on A2.
Yeah, and where's this knight really going to, right, from D1? So go to E3, and then what?
Knight D3. I want your plan. I want F4, F5.
Seems like the thing to do, especially with the king on H7.
Yeah, he's taking his time, though. Okay, now C4 comes. We were looking for this tactic, and it's played at the right moment because E4 has been undermined, right? If you take, I can take the pawn here, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Oh, he does it.
What?
What's happening?
What?
Okay, Queen D3.
But
he's just losing the bishop pair. It doesn't make sense at all. Not sure why he did that.
It's not easy to make either of us speechless, but this seems really weird. We're at 95 here. I guess he's just saying, like, okay.
I don't know why he did that. I mean, C4 was a nice move by Wesley. We kind of spied it a few moves ago as one of the ideas of B5 to block the bishop. But I don't know that you had to take. I mean, it's not like this is a permanent blocker of the bishop, right, Robert? Right. I mean, you could still go for this.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, interesting stuff.
I'm actually wondering if instead of knight E3 just now, if he could have tried knight A5. It's a weird-looking move. You tend not to want to give yourself double pawns like this, but because the B6 square in particular is a bit soft.
Right, takes. You maybe have this access point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I can be a little bit more active in the position.
Rook C3.
Yeah, you're right. It's too active.
Yeah, it's hard not to like black in that trade.
Not looking good.
Here comes knight E5, I think.
So knight E5, I'll just retreat his queen somewhere. E2.
You could also just take, I realize, because queen takes just bishop A8. I think that's what he's going to do. Yeah, just keep the tension, baby, right? Just ease in the tension, baby.
Yeah, pawn structure, better for black. 2 bishops. Only
The
black
reason
has-
Robert says the pawn structure is better for black, you got the two very well-protected center pawns versus two isolated pawns. A3 and C2 are pawns that can't protect each other. So kind of a key positional point as you look at the big picture here and chess games between high-level grandmasters like this.
Yeah, you always want to look at the base pawn, and the base pawn is the one that's easiest to attack because it's not
Yep.
protected by another pawn. But
Yep.
in this case, the F7 pawn is very far away from White's pieces. A3 and C2 both are already.
C3.
Wait! Why didn't he take it? Oh, because knight F3 check.
Yeah, knight
okay.
F3 check.
I was saying knight E2 check, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's show it. To the Batcave. Here we go. Let's show what happened here. So if takes, the whole point of knight E2 check didn't work because White just gets way too many pieces for the queen.
Yeah.
This is a lot of material.
Yep.
But the whole point was knight F3 check would have been a discovery on the king, and then you win the lady on C3. So that forced queen D2. That means that basically rook C3 was just the stealing of a pawn, like a thief in the night. The rook came in, got what he came for, and got out of dodge back to safety.
Yeah, and now black is simply up a pawn with his wonderful bishop on G7.
Yeah, bishop on G7, just a monster.
Just controlling the whole board. Yeah, this is very unpleasant. Okay, there's still
Look for the other bishop to get involved.
with D4 ideas.
Yeah, talk about the bishop pair, right? You've got this.
Here it comes.
We're calling it D4. Here he goes.
Yeah, I don't see how White is going to fight for this one. Ideally, you somehow force black to take on F3 and get opposite colored bishops.
Right.
And even that is bad.
He's only got 20 seconds here, a little bit less than that as we
Bishop
dwindle
takes
down.
F3.
Bishop takes F3. Very nice. Queen G5 check? No. Rook to G5 check. Like it.
Okay, but this is one of those situations. If you don't go mate him, which he's now trying to do, if you don't actually deliver the checkmate, there is some potential for White to hold on because of the opposite colored bishops.
And the reason is opposite bishops can't challenge each other, so it makes
Queen C1.
blockades. Oh, Queen C1 wins the queen. No, it doesn't. Queen G1.
I wanted to go Queen C1, Rook takes C2 at some point, but
Interesting. Okay, if the rooks come off, again, black is just much better, but the opposite bishops are kind of offering outside chances. Now you're in danger, though. Danger, Will Robinson. Black is going to slow play this. You could literally bring the king around to B2 if you wanted to.
you've all the time in the world is what
You
you're
control the dark squares, and there's nothing White can do about it.
saying. Yeah, he took.
Wow, he wants the other pawn.
I thought he was going to go Queen D2 there and just... I don't know if that was a good decision because
Well, he
Bishop
decides
E8.
that this is winning. I mean, it's going to be a time scramble here as we finish it out, but
you can't bring your king in and look at the H1 square.
H1 square, not the same color as the bishop.
It's not going to be important because the pawn C3 will pretty much always exist.
It should be winning, though, here.
Yeah.
There's enough pawns, right? You've got plenty pawns. You're going to try for G4.
So let's see. But if you go G4, and but the pawns aren't that far split for black, which is generally what you want. Is have split pawns so your king can
which
run
is
in.
funny because in rook endings you think the opposite. Sometimes you think of connected passers, but what Robert just said is really educational. Oh, he's losing H5. He's going to draw.
No, I don't.
He's got bishop E3. No.
The thing is, his bishop does. Oh my gosh.
Where's the threat? He only has 5 seconds, 8 seconds for white,
Bishop
6
E2?
seconds for so.
Just bishop back.
Bishop E2, I think he's held. The king's going to come in, try to hit to D2.
But he'll put his bishop on G6. Like the thing is, your king E3 at bishop G6. If Mamedyarov holds this, that is
I think he's about to.
H7.
Oh, I think that was a
Bishop
mistake.
G6. Bishop G6.
Oh, he goes to the wrong diagonal.
No, I don't think it matters. He's to go bishop A8 or not bishop A8. That's a bad move. But just keep your bishop while attacking this pawn.
Okay, but now H8's going to drop G3, and he's got to draw. Amazing. King D4.
King F1.
It's too slow.
King
This is a great example of why opposite bishops draw, everyone, because the fact that these bishops can't challenge each other, there's no trade, which would make the endgame easier for black. If you get the bishops off, you're just up a pawn. But the fact that white is going to blockade on these light squares and black can do nothing about it makes this an easy draw, makes Wesley a dull boy. And he takes a look into Hikaru Nakamura's library of facial expressions.